straight face, guys. Okay. So one quick disclaimer. This is me. I'm giving us chabura now on the sugya we just did in Ian Seder. So there's going to be a lot less information and about on this topic, because I just feel like there's no point in me going through my Ian share again, especially when other shirim will be going through very similar things. So I was thinking about how Gilei Milsa, which is discussed by Yakir, could be extended to Shar Muad. So the Rambam in Gerushin discusses in Parak Yud Gimel Halacha Chav Tes, discusses how don't be surprised and don't protest when you see a single aid being believed, one single witness, and not just one witness, but even people who are typically pasul aedis, right? Whether it's a slave, a woman, or a maidservant, a non-Jew who was just passing by, or aid me paid, so not a witness who actually saw what happened, but someone testifying based on what they heard someone say, either be a non-Jew, right, or aid me paid, or typically we don't allow aidis to work through ksiva, but here we would, or or like the Rambam said earlier in the halachas, that you need to have drusha v'chakir to investigate whether or not the eidim are being truthful. So the reason why is shaloik bida Torah al ha'edos shnei eidim u'shar mishpatei is ela b'davar she'in ata yachal lamud al barav ela mipi ha'edim u'edosa. Right? Kigon she'edim shezeh harg azeh o helve azeh. The only reason why we need two eidim is when we need something to be substantiated, right? We don't have edus otherwise. We don't have any information otherwise, right? We know Shimon was killed, but we don't know who killed him. So come edim to say that really Levi killed Shimon. So because Levi killed Shimon, how do we get that information? For that, since we wouldn't know that Levi had killed Shimon, we need two edim, right? Aval davar afshar lamod al barav shalomi pi'ed hazav ein ha'ed yachol yishamit im ein hadavar ames kigon zeh she'ed shemes ploni lo ekpid the Torah alav, right? Shedavar rachel kushir bo ha'ed b'shakar. Basically, the rabbis allowed something that could be proven truthful even without edus, right? We know later it will be true. So therefore, I mean about eid echad mipi shivcha min aksav v'lo drusha v'chaker kedishlo shisharna b'nos yisrael agunos. So what we're talking about over here, we're talking about a stam case. I don't know. Let's say where a woman finds out her husband's dead. So you wouldn't necessarily need two edim to find that you wouldn't necessarily need two edim. You could just say that one aid is sufficient, right? So why do they say here, we don't want just women being left single and unable to remarry because we don't have two proper edim. Because at the end of the day, we can always get the scenario of the husband, his death could later be proven, unlike the murder without these two edim. So for that reason, there's sometimes the Rabbanim allow one aid to be believed. So we find a similar halacha in Yibam Chalitza Parak. We're talking about how Yibam could, for Chalitza or whatever, we can allow one aid to show that here the topic is that actually it's not one aid, it's women or avadim are believed to say that they are, here he doesn't say specifically, but your women and Adam are believed to say that Chalitza was done, and they recognize this brother of the Yavam is a brother of the mace. So because of that, Vafil Isha Eved O Katan Shu Makar Vinava Nemnin Lomar Zeh Ploni Achi Ploni Vizahi Yivim Tov V'Cholzen Alpia. Right, we permit Chalitza to go through without making the woman just stay unmarried. We allow Chalitza to go through based on the testimony of people who typically would not be trusted for edus. Mash Ein Kim Bishar Edias Sheltar Bein LeEdus Mammon Bein LeEdus Iser. Shizad Davar Ha'aseh Legalus Hu Afshar Liada Amita Sadavar Shalom Ipian. Right, because these two cases, these two types of edus. One is that we need edim that are kosher, right? What do we say? A non-avid male above the age of 13, which they cyrus. Or we say, I mean, he also has to be kosher latest, right? That can have past problems. Or over here, we allow even typically not, people who aren't typically believed, we allow is here. Why? Because here we could later reveal what happened, right? Should zed davar ha'aseh li'galus, right? And you can figure out the mitzvahs of the davar. So because of that, we allow typically unqualified candidates for edus, we allow by chalitza. Also, we see in Shoftim, right, and continue with Rambam in Hilchos and Hadrin Parak Tes Zayin Halacha Vav. Inun tzarich shnei edim lemalchus ela b'shas ma'isa. Aval ha'isr atzmo be'ed echad yofsa. We don't actually need two edim. We only need two edim from Malchus at the time of the Ma'isa, where we know that. Let's go again with the name Shimon. All right, we know Shimon did something wrong, but to say, make a chazaka that the thing he's doing is aser, to say, the Rama actually gives examples. So Ketzad, Amar Eid Achad Chilv Klais Huza, Killer Karamahema Paraselu, Grusha's Ozona Ishazu, right? Va'acho O Baal Be'edim, Achar She Hasrabo, Arzelo Gafal Pisha Ikar Isra Be'ed Achad, right? The Isra, the thing that he's currently doing is only apparent because one aide said what he's doing is forbidden, right? He outlawed what he did, right? He said, don't eat that fruit over there because that was kilei karam, which is Isser Malchus. Or a Kohen can't marry Grusha. And he said, right, the woman's they're about to have relations, and the Kohen says, this one aide says that the woman over there is a Grusha, so you better not do it. So whether he eats the fruit which were kilei karam or he has relations with the grusha, even though it's substantiated only by one aid, that's permitted. That is sufficient to allow malchus, provided that we still have two aidim for bishas ma'isa, right? You need the actual ma'isa to have two witnesses, but for the actual isser, you only to make the isser chal, you only need one. So this got me thinking, right? We talk about glui daita, right? Glui milsa. So the Kilis Yakov in Bava Kama has a famous chakir, right? What is shor hamuad? There are two different ways of understanding what shor hamuad is. Is shor hamuad really every animal is wild in and of itself? It's just innately wild, and because of that, you're chayav to watch your animal. There's no way the Torah will obligate you to watch your animal and pay nazik shalim unlike the first three times, right? The only way they'll make you chayav to pay nazik shalim is after the third time, because then it comes clear and apparent to the Baal, right? It's just it's a gzeras hakasav that you need three times. Or is it really every animal is given it has an assumption that you don't need, that it doesn't gore, for example. That's the classic case where you would need three times, right? So any animal doesn't typically gore, but after the third time, it has a chazaka of gore. So it should be, for me, I thought it was similar, the cases, right? You have Igli Milsa, you're uncovering the truth that really all three times it gored, the first three times when it was still a short time, not a short muad, it was actually short muad, and only after the third time we're revealing the truth, what happened, right? Igli Milsa, we're uncovering the words. So seemingly anyone's aid is short, you should only need one aid, right? According to the other side, that only after the third time, it now becomes shor muad. Okay, so you're not uncovering anything. You're now adding a definition to this shor, to this animal, and you're saying it's actually a shor muad. But the first three times, we're saying it's a shor muad. We just aren't going to hold you to the same laws and the same restrictions concerning what the payment is and how to properly guard it. But nevertheless, it's still shor muad. And only after the third time it gores, we're going to say glui milsa. So I don't understand. Why can't you have one aid and not just, why do you need two aidim and why can't you just have one aid? Right? So in Simon Chav Tes and Bava Kama, Kilis Yakov says, like, you can make a chakir here that b'had dimivor b'chol duchti b'huchsa gimel pamim have chazaka shekein darko. Im hu bitar saria b'chacha she darko b'chach the b'gimel pamim lo amirna nishai haya Makim Yotzim Me'er Hargil. Oh, the Al Yedeh Siyas Gimel Pamim Mikov Zeh Gufa Naslo Tevel Ledavar Zeh. The Chol Shemisrag Bo Gimel Panim Hook V'Salo. Right? It's going to be V'Tevel Zeh. Right? It's going to be the nature. So according to the first understanding that Kilas Yaakov says for Sharmut, it's that it really is always Sharmut. And the Torah just says after the third time we're going to consider Sharmut. I understand that as Gili Milsa. You're uncovering what happened, right? Just like you're uncovering that this person, the Yavam over here, is the brother of the mace, right? We knew we could find that out. So we could find out Shor is Shor Mud, right? Because every animal, by definition, is innately a Shor Mud. It just takes 3 gorings. So by the woman or by the Chalitza, for example, it takes just 1 aid to uncover what happened, to show that these 2 people were brothers, the mace and the Yavam. So over here, you should theoretically only need 1 aid, and yet the Torah requires 2 aidim, right? You should only require 1 aid. And so here it says and he continues and says, really, why, if it's really Shor Muad from the first time, why are you only Chayiv Nesek Shalim from the third? So he says just that's he just says Imkain Zeh Ein Zeh Ela Mikan L'Bal, right? So he just says it's from now on, from the third time and on. So that just begs the question, why is there no Gilei Milsa there? So just how does that connect to our sugya, right? Gilei Milsa, great, but we haven't brought this into Babasra. The Gemara Kuf Chav Zayin at the bottom of Kuf Chav Zayin Amud Aleph to the turn of Kuf Chav Zayin Amud Beis talks about when you believe a father to say Yakir. So what's Yakir? A father is now identifying who's firstborn, right? Why do we need that? For Pishnaim, we need for a lot of things, right? That's just the prime example. So if you need to figure out who the Bechor is, when would you believe it? So the question is, do you believe him against a Chazaka? And then there are many Mefarshim to understand what that Chazaka is. And how important does that Chazaka have to be? Or how strong of the Chazaka can it be where the father can still override that with the Gzeres HaKasav of Yakir? So we paskin lalacha, right? The Rambam paskins, unlike the Chachamim, he paskins like Rabbi Yehuda, who says on the 5th line of Kuchav Zayin on base, Nemon Adam Lomar Zeh B'ni Bechor, right? A man's believed to say his son is a Bechor. So over there, that we have we understand that as Gilei Milsa, right? He reveals who his Bechor is, and because of that, he's believed. So as we saw by Gilei Milsa with the Rambam, and this is just a Mefresh Gemara saying where the Rambam says copies the Gemara, just he brings it to a different case, that 1 aid is sufficient for Gilei Milsa. So that's where I thought, I don't understand why by Shor Muad is it different. Shor Muad, you need 2 aidim, right? And you also need them to be kosher le'edis. You can't just have stam edis, right? It could be an avid, a shifcha by Gilei Milsa, but I mean, Yakir is different because that's Gzeres HaKasav, where it has to be the father. But I mean, there are the other 2 people, the Chayav and the Ima and the Aim, but primarily Yakir is discussing the father. So why is Shor Muad different? So the Tosas Arid here on Kochav Zayin comments that halfway through his piece in Siman Lamed Beis, he says, "Umasha kasavti le'el de'it acha neman b'chor ve'vesi rayim mimay damirin gabi yavam ve'ashtemu de'inhu ve'ashtemu de'inhi afilu alidek isha v'karov mishum degilei milsa v'ama hi ein araya." Right. So we said by yavam you can have 1 aid. It could be anyone that comes to unveil the truth. Didafka be surah. We only say this by Isser, right? What's the Isser? By marriage. Like the Yavama can't marry anyone else, and she has to wait until she either performs Yibam or Chalitza. So that's why anyone comes. Aval b'mona binyan trei sadi, right? But by money, we say you need 2 people. So without, we can come to answer why there's no tzad in Shor Muad, why you would think you can have 1 aid even though it's Gilei Milsa, right? You need 2 aidim because what's Shor Muad? That is the primary case when you think of Hezek, right? That's Davar Sheb'Mammon. So the Davar Sheb'Mammon, you need 2 aidim. So that's why even Shor Muad, according to the first side of the Kilas Yaakov, that what's Shor Muad? Really, it's been a short all 3 times. It was Shor Muad all 3 times. The first 3 times it gored. It just only got uncovered that it was a Shor Muad after the 3rd goring. Nevertheless, you still need 2 aidim. Unlike a typical case of Gilei Milsa, you need 2 aidim because a davar shebimamon, you need 2 edim.
Are you saying that Yerusha is not davar shebimamon?
Just one quick question. When I just paused it, someone asked why Yerusha is davar shebimamon. So I understand that's why wouldn't you have 2 edim? Well, that's different over there. It's davar shebimamon. Dafka by Yerusha, can you say that there are two? You wouldn't need 2 and rather just the father, because the Tosfos Rid says that you would need 2 edim typically, but the father is different because you have Xeris HaKasav of Yakir. You don't have the same Xeris HaKasav by a Shormut, right? It doesn't say, I don't know, Yakir, whatever the correct word would be. You don't have that by Shormut. You have it by Av to teach the Chiddush. You would think that the father, right? What are the 2 dinim? What are the 2 stadim? On the one hand, you should have 2 edim. Why? Because davar shebimamon by a bechor, right? Because P9, for example, he's going to be getting a second portion. On the other hand, it's Gilei Milsa. The father's just revealing who his son is. So that just begs the question: why is the father believed as one, or is he believed at all? So it comes like Xeris HaKasav, say Yakir, the 1 8 is believed, and only if it's the father. Tosfos Rid says any other person would, and I think it's the Gemara elsewhere. I can't pinpoint a specific daf. My bad on that one, but for sure the Tosfos Rid says that you would need 2 edim other than the father, right? And we also discussed the Gemara, I forgot where, Kiddushin maybe, that the person who administered the birth at the time of the birth and the mother for the first 7 days, they have the ability to declare who the firstborn is. But all in all, the father has the ability throughout his entire life to declare who the firstborn is. That's because there's a Xeris HaKasav. Mashin came by Shor, which is also davar shebimamon, but you don't have the Xeris HaKasav to answer davar shebimamon against the Gilei Milsa. So typically we would say if it's Gilei Milsa against davar shebimamon, you'd still need 2 edim, and Gilei Milsa, even though the rule is typically you only need 1 edim, that wouldn't be sufficient when it's against the davar shebimamon. You'd still need 2 edim. Comes the Xeris HaKasav of Yakir to teach that by a bechor you can even have 1 edim, provided that it's the person whom the pasuk gives the authority, which the Xeris HaKasav gives the authority, which is the father. Shkach.